Hey, what's up guys, Rev here. So there's no sugarcoating it. Today's topic is a pretty controversial one. We're going to be looking at a situation that asks the question, are parents putting their children into harm's way by oversharing certain details on social media? We are looking at a situation involving a VTuber who many are claiming might have put their child in harm's way by oversharing some of their mental health updates. Now, full disclosure, before we get into the details of this video, I want to make this very clear. Please do not look up the identity of this VTuber. Do not express their name in the comments section. We are using them as an example to ask a very relevant question of when it goes too far. When does oversharing actually put your child in harm's way on social media? So we are dealing with a VTuber who is pretty well known. They have a substantial online presence, and they also have a child that they have very clearly made a part of their online community, and a child that has often expressed how much they want to become a VTuber and has even used models in some of their streams. This normally raises a few concerns for me because this same VTuber is a well-known auntie. This is someone who has often talked about how many pedophiles and pedophilic themes there are within the VTuber community and the anime community, and yet here they are introducing their own child into this space. A child who is clearly quite young, by the way. I don't know their exact age, but clearly they are quite young. Now, I've spent years both around VTubers, covering VTubers, and talking about social media generally, and that experience has taught me one thing, and that is the fact that my future children, I don't want them within 1,000 yards of the VTubing scene and really just social media in general, because there are dangers around every single corner. There are predators everywhere on social media. Every week, there is a VTuber who is being outed as a predator preying on children that they met online. There are fans being outed for the same. Whole communities being outed as having a problem with predators being among them. This is a very real concern, and when you put a child into that space, that is already raising a lot of red flags, okay? That child is vulnerable, and who do these predators go after? Vulnerable people, and I can't think of any population more vulnerable than a child, and in this case, a child who has mental health problems. That is a recipe for disaster, and one that raises a lot of concern that this child might be put in harm's way by being a part of these communities. But going on from that, there is a tweet that is going around that sparked this entire conversation. This VTuber made this tweet yesterday. Again, heavily censored for a reason. Don't go looking for it, and it wouldn't matter anyways because the tweet has since been deleted. It says, Redacted's mental health has gotten worse, and she's moved beyond superficial self-harm to making an attempt on her life. Please keep my little lamb in your thoughts as we find a psychiatric program that'll help her through this difficult chapter. Now, you have to convince me otherwise. I don't see how sharing these details, the fact that my child made a suicide attempt on a social media, will benefit them in any sort of a way. There is no way sharing mental health updates, very serious ones like this, about your child onto your freaking VTuber account will have an overall net positive for their mental well-being. There is absolutely no way. I understand that people reply to this. There was hundreds of people wishing good things to this child. And personally, I hope this child is okay. I wish them the best. And I understand this is a very difficult situation. But there are literal studies out there showing that sharing the mental health status of your child, in particular negative moments, has a negative impact on their mental health. It has been proven by studies. This is not just something that I'm saying. One of the things that this VTuber has since tweeted, since deleting that original tweet, is that people have no business telling them how to raise their child and what's best for them. But these are studies. This is not my opinion. These are studies showing that this could put them in harm's way. Sharing things like this contained in that tweet might put them in harm's way. And for a personal anecdote, I feel like I can't be the only one who feels this way. If my mother went onto social media on her VTuber account and shared in front of tens of thousands of people that I had a suicide attempt, I would end up in a mental hospital. That would be my reaction. I would be absolutely mentally floored by that information being shared publicly. I would feel violated. Now, again, who knows? Maybe their child is different, but that seems very invasive in like oversharing. I feel like that is oversharing. And there is no qualified mental health professional or crisis counselor out there that would recommend sharing this information publicly on such a weird account, a VTuber account of all places. I get it. You want to provide an update to your community and you're a very concerned parent. I can't imagine the fear and confusion a parent would feel in this situation, but you have to think smarter than this, than sharing information about your child's suicide attempts onto your VTuber account. There has to be a better way to do this. You can still update your community, but not going that deep into detail. There is no way that this is to the benefit of the child. And in their follow-up tweets, they addressed some people claiming that they were posting these things for sympathy points, and they were very angry about that. But I think it's a very fair question to ask, because clearly this gets a lot of sympathy on social media. But when you think about the potential risks involved with posting such intimate details online, it outweighs those benefits. It's not worth the risks involved. You're sharing your child's vulnerable mental states with tens of thousands of strangers online, including bad actors who might use that information to attack both you and your child who is in a vulnerable state right now. Honestly, it's just one of these issues. This needs to be dealt with offline. I don't understand why people feel the need to share every little detail, every little intimate detail of their life online. It gets to be too much. And it is a very fair question to ask if sharing information like that about your child is putting them in harm's way. Because there are studies that prove that it can. And honestly, I just think it's common sense that sharing such information about your child in front of tens of thousands of strangers isn't a good thing. I don't need a study to understand the risk involved with that. But these are things, again, need to be dealt with offline. I wish this child the best, and I hope that this whole thing works out for them. And I'm sorry that this is happening to this VTuber. I truly am. But we need to be smarter about how we overshare about our children on social media. I feel like I sound like a boomer, but I can't be the only person who has an issue with sharing so much information like this about your child online. But that is going to do it for this video. I know this was a very tough one, so please keep it respectful. Do not look up this VTuber again, and share all of your thoughts and related experiences in the comments section down below. Thank you guys for listening to this video, and I'll see you next time.